CJ Wilcher. We'll open the floor for questions.
CJ, what was the difference today compared to the previous 4 games where those went down to the wire and this one kind of got out of hand right away?
I think of our intensity. We competed in those games before today. We started the game off hot every game. Of course, we died down a little bit, but then we found a way to pick it back up. I think that was what we was missing today, just that fire, just that edge that we needed that we've used to get over to compete in those games before.
Where did you notice that intensity lack? Was it on defense, offense?
I think on both ends of the floor. I think really we just didn't really execute the offense really. And then on the defense side, you guys saw what happened. We just gave up a lot of buckets. We just wasn't getting to the 50-50 balls, wasn't rebounding early on, and I think those are the plays that we needed.
Do you have any way to pinpoint just the drastic differences when you talk about intensity, fire, edge, from games like in early December, games like this, compared to those games where you did fight for almost 40 minutes? Like, what is the difference between the games in which you put forth that fight and then games like this?
A lot of times, the hardest thing in life is being consistent, you know what I mean? So I think that's kind of like what we've been trying to find, just consistency in some area, you know what I mean? And we've been finding some consistency in starting games off hot and keeping that energy, and then guys coming in and bringing the energy. Yeah, we've been finding a little bit of consistency in that. But I think today we just didn't come prepared, and it's sad to say. I mean, that's the honest truth. The players didn't. We didn't come ready to play, and they took advantage of. Northwestern took advantage of it. So.
We talked before about how sometimes you guys get into lulls that can affect you guys in other areas. Like if you guys are missing shots, it can hurt you on defensive rebounding. How much do you think that played into it today?
I think it did kind of play a little role in it. A little bit. I wouldn't say too much. You noticed a couple times we didn't run a play fully, and we was kind of like somebody just break it off. You know what I mean? It happened through all of the shoot. I did it a couple times, so I think that was just kind of like where our disconnect was on the offensive end.
When someone breaks off a play, why do you think that happens?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, shoot, I had it going a little earlier, so a lot of my stuff was just more so in rhythm, and I was just kind of feeling myself a little bit. But I couldn't tell you why some people just break off. I couldn't tell you.
What's the mood in the locker room after a game like this?
Excuse me?
What's the mood in the locker room after a game like this?
I mean, mood's low. I mean, energy's low. I mean, we lost a winnable game by a large amount. So, I mean, shooting, and then it kind of becomes a build-up thing. You lose a few games, you kind of get down and stuff like that. So that's kind of like the energy in the locker room, really. You're just down, really.
What did Coach say to you guys afterwards?
Shoot, he kept it nice and sweet. I mean, we knew what we did. It just didn't play hard. That's really all he said. Like, that's really what it was.
Do you think the opponent affects any type of energy? I mean, lately it seems like against the teams towards the top of the Big Ten, you played hard and taken down the last couple minutes. Many felt, Northwestern was a team that you guys could beat today. Do you think there's, anything in terms of that?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it's just depending on who we play. We kind of bring energy based on that. I don't think it really is that. I think just today we just came out lethargic. I think that's just what it was. And we just got to find a way to move on from it and compete at every game we play after this for the rest of the season.
CJ, they made 10 threes in that first half. What do you think was maybe the issues with guarding them? Do you think maybe playing off a little too much, or why do you think they were able to be so free ball?
Well, they got a few threes in transition. This is what we talked about going in the scout. They get transition threes. They shoot the ball. They shoot the ball better than from like 1 through 5, better than a lot of teams we played in conference so far, because they have bigs that step out and shoot the ball as well. So I think that's where it started out at. And then there's energy behind the ball. Teams get confidence, players get confident, then shots go down. So I think that's kind of like where it came from. Really, just the early shots in transition, and even big fella hit a few threes early on. So I think that kind of just gave him confidence, gave him energy behind the ball.
Anything else for CJ, guys?
You mentioned the ball can have energy sometimes. What kind of energy did the ball have on your guys' side today?
I don't think we had energy behind the ball at all, honestly. There'd be times where we had it moving and then there was energy behind it. We'd knock down some shots, stuff like that. But I just think we just find some consistency in that, really.
Yes, for Coach Hirschel.
Thanks.